This is Chris Watkins with Peach State Basketball TV, powered by SUVtv. This is our fourth and final game of the day at EBA All-American Camp. You see right there, that is number 38. Kevin Stamps, 2016, out of Central Gwinnett High School. We've had a great weekend so far, a number of standout players. One of them has this ball in his hand right now, DeMarcus Simons out of Buford High School. Looking to move into our Elite 60 here in the 2016 class that you'll be able to see in a few weeks on peachstatebasketball.com. That right there is 2015 Kyvon Davenport out of East Hall High School, extremely athletic. We look for him to have a great senior year over there for Joe Dix. Another player that's had a good showing is Jordan Pulliam out of Chesapeake High School, left-hander scorer. You saw him just finish there at the rim. I'm now being joined by Brandon Clay in the first half of this game, be joined by Jonathan Hemingway in the second half. Brandon, go ahead and talk about just the weekend in general here as we're finishing up in this last broadcast.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. It's been awesome. I've had a blast. I can't speak for anybody else in here. I hope that people from near and far feel like it was worth not only the financial resources. One of the things I think about as an event operator, it's not the money. Even if you had an infinite amount of money to be able to travel and do whatever you wanted, it's the time, and you can't get that back. We've all got the same 24. So I hope that everybody feels like the amount of time that they've spent here in the gym, getting to us, actually here, all that stuff is worth it. I've had an absolute blast. And I feel like we've played the game the right way. When I'm over there coaching and we're managing single possessions in a camp game, and great play there by Simons, managing single possessions in a camp game, I can't really argue with that, when we're getting that type of production, in addition to obviously the coverage and the different things that the young men are getting as well while they're here. I really have had a blast. Pulling him off to a great start here. 6 quick points here in this game, number 14 there in the white.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to look to have a standout senior year, 2015, for Coach Chad Pittman over there at Chesapeake.
Hey, that's my guy, man. Pittman's building himself a nice little resume, between obviously the stint over there at Duluth and what he was able to do, and now, Chastity. He's got a big post player, Hunter Creamer, who's out. He was scheduled to be here at camp. Actually had an injury that has limited him in not being able to take part in that. But he's done a great job already just this summer of getting them rolling over there and getting the recruiting process going for those guys.
Yeah, he's definitely showed his abilities that he's a true good basketball coach because he's successful on both the boys and the girls side of basketball.
No question.
Actually, that knockdown, I believe that was Preston Wiggins.
It is. I really like his game, his length. He's a young guy I expect to be around the EBA circuit here for a while. He's done some really, really good things here in a short amount of time, put himself on the radar. Another guy that Adrian Penland brought to us. Oh, look at Elijah Jenkins. It's starting to work out. I was just telling his father, Buck, how well he played in the first game, and you're seeing that right now. You're seeing the confidence growing. He definitely is a kid that we're going to keep an eye on. I still don't think he's finished growing yet either.
Yeah, no, because Buck is about, 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, every bit of it. And his mother also has some height, too. So I definitely expect, EJ to get another couple inches here in the next year or so, man. He's got it. He can shoot it. Pure jumper, man. Him and Wiggins both are two kids that can knock it down. And, yeah.
That's another one right
so
there.
So can he. It's become so commonplace, he doesn't even dap DeMarcus Simons down, Like he's just kind of used to doing it at this point. I hit another one. It's cool, man.
Yeah, that's Colton Kressel. And we were talking, in between broadcasts, and while we're kind of here and, we talk about what we do, both our coverage and the On the Radar Hoops report, and then both Brandon Clay scouting. Tell me where you think Colton Kressel can fit in at the next level.
What's interesting? I think a guy like Colton Kressel, honestly, he's definitely a scholarship guy, and he's going to be one of those guys that gets recruited kind of all over the board, man. There's a young man that I watched out at USA Basketball in Colorado named Peyton Pritchard. Also saw him at NBPA Top 100 camp. And Pritchard gets recruited all across the board. It could be Notre Dame. It could be Eastern Washington. It could be Villanova, Oregon State, because he plays so well and he does so many good things. I think that Kressel is a guy like that. I think Grand Canyon right there, the Division I school right there in Phoenix, is a school that's going to recruit him. I think Utah State can recruit him. I think that if he continues to play and develops as a point guard, gets stronger through his frame, that you might see some Pac-12 schools recruit him. I really see him as a guy, not to mention, possibly some of the academic schools, the Princetons and the Harvards of the world, trying to get into the mix. He's just a guy that can play at a lot of different places, and I think be a program changer, an impact guy in the fact that he makes shots. If he's able to shoot in the high 30s, low 40s from the three-point line like he's done here, that really changes the game for programs.
Yeah, and you watch him as a shooter, it looks the same every single
No question.
time, which
No
is such a
question.
lost art, and shooting's at a premium, and he's got the ability to handle the ball.
Well, and he did a great job earlier. I was coaching against him. He did a great job in the pick and roll set of forcing us to have to show and hedge and get him off. I think if he can get stronger, we talked about Pritchard, who's a year above him, but one of the things that Pritchard honestly has been able to do in his progression is get strong enough and quick enough where he can get downhill and turn the corner, kind of like Ty Cockfield does. Maybe not that explosive, but you have to respect his game. So Kressel can pass the basketball, but if he shows that he can get downhill off of the high screen and roll, he's going to put himself in a really good position going forward.
Mentioned Cockfield, we've actually got him right here with the ball. We're discussing him, some of his recruitment, and he's one of those that you'll see his recruitment grow based off these broadcasts.
No question. One, I like what they're doing there. Once again, first half being a zone, half here on the second day. As Simons bully balls his way to the rim, attacks, pulling him out the way, and then goes right there at Stamps with reckless regard for his body or the rim or anybody in the way. He's had just a great weekend, man. Really have enjoyed watching the growth. Told him so yesterday after the broadcasts were over that I'm just enjoying watching him get better. And every single time out, you can see a little bit of growth and improvement in his game. It's been impressive.
Yeah, I mean, his ability to both score from the mid-range, and he gets to the rim, and he just makes plays. He's a big, strong guard.
Yep.
We talk about our kind of cross coverage. Mentioned, it's not worth noting, T.J. Dunnins, who just committed to Bruce Pearl on his commitment.
Yeah.
Kind of the same guard, a 6'4", 6'5", and can make plays on both ends of the floor because of their athleticism.
I like that there. Simmons in a position to get it. Oh, nice little 1-2 there from Cockfield to Pulliam there for the finish. Pulliam's strong, man. You look at his shoulders, and I think he's a guy that, has played more off the ball here. I think you could see him play some point at the next level. But it's just going to be an energy guy. A guy that brings a lot to the table. You look at him defending, talking there inside of the zone. Just going to do a lot of good things. I like that shot there from the young kid O'Connor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's looking to show his own from that young age group as well. We have a number of young outstanding players, Desmond Simpson, Travis Anderson. We also have Weiner here as a 2020. So the talent across the board, from whether it's seniors all the way down to seventh graders in Weiner.
Hey, not to forget my man, Young Joe. Young Joe, 2018 sharpshooter, man, Flowery Branch.
Yeah, I like Joe a lot, like his game. He'll definitely be getting some love from me, especially on social media before the day's out.
Hey, you're nice. Oh, great shot there by Wiggins there in the lane. You're nice when you're on first name basis 2 days in, man. Joe.
Yeah, Preston Wiggins, freshman. He'll look to have a big year for North Forsyth. I know he'll get at least one Peach State member at one of his games, since it's about 2 miles from my house. So I'll definitely be at a North Forsyth game. We'll also go over there to support both on the girls' side. Caroline Bounds recently just committed, and Coach Eric Herrick and everything they do over there at North Forsyth.
No question, man. Well, Corliss from his team is going to be at All-American Camp. I actually got registered yesterday, so we're excited to have her as a part of what we're doing. Bounds was a feature player eval, headed to Campbell. Going to be a great situation for her. So a lot of good things happening recruiting-wise there at North Forsyth. That's a big-time shot over there for Hillary, a.k.a. Jordan Adams.
Yeah, Hillary's shown his ability to hit down that three, and he's got a good frame. And for those of you watching that might just know us, you see Kressel there
again. That touch is so feathery, man. Special delivery.
Jordan Adams spent, a number of his high school years before, moving to Oak Hill, at Central Gwinnett. Currently now in the NBA, was a standout at UCLA. So anytime you're getting reference to an NBA player and be called that young Jordan Adams.
Young Jordan Adams, man. Got that good size, kind of fools you a little bit. Almost looks like a four player, but definitely a perimeter-oriented guy. And Adams' progression as a ball player, man, you talk about the early days at Central to what he became at UCLA.
They better put a body on Cockfield, because they're about.
Oh, he's going to catch one. I was about to say he's going to catch one. Nice shot there from Gilson. That's going to be an area of his game. We talked with Garrett about his game yesterday. That's going to be an area of his game where he can improve Very similar to what we talked about with Cockfield. Great pass there to Pulliam. They got a little 1-2 connection going on there. But Gilkson's ability to hit that open jump shot, if he can add that to his game by the time we see him next after the school season, that's going to be something where he can really hang his hat on as a guard with versatility and athleticism who will defend it, can slash it, can get into space and make some plays. I think he's another guy, kind of like Pulliam. You see him with the ball here. That can play it on the ball, off the ball, right on cue. You see him with that rebound there.
Yeah, and not to shortchange Zach Orr's shot from about 8 feet there. I mean, he's a player I really like.
He's been awesome, and his improvement in 6 months is noteworthy for sure. You know, the activity, I told him yesterday and actually called him out in the group this morning in a positive way to let him know that his energy and his activity was at a much higher level and pace than it was earlier on in the calendar year, man. And his game is starting to look like, had a chance to watch him at Shun Williams on the Radar Hoops event last year in the fall at his fall showcase. I actually took a trip up to Banks County for the boys' practice and watched Mike Cleveland work out his guys during the school season, and have really enjoyed what I've seen from more in the progression in those multiple evaluations that we've come away with. You see Simons directing traffic here in the zone. You know, we talked a lot about some of these other guys and the fact that they can play on or off the ball. DeMarcus Simons has really shown that he can play on or perhaps off. You know, I think he's definitely is a scorer first and foremost, as you see him attack the lane there and then get his own miss. But he definitely is a guy who can play some secondary point guard and be a guy to help against pressure in the full or the half court.
Yeah, you know, Simon's one of those, he's going to have his pick of almost anywhere in the country he wants to go.
No question. UConn came in. Kevin Ollie last year flew down to watch a game. He played with UConn freshman Rakeem Lubin there at Buford High School. He came down to watch Rack play, saw Simons, and offered on the spot. That's a big-time dunk there from Davenport.
Yeah, I like Davenport, and we discussed it over and over and over yesterday. Wherever he goes, you know, whether it's Division I, Division II, spends a year in junior college and goes, people are going to say they got to steal.
No question, no question. Well, his athleticism coupled with his length, his ability to change shots, and he doesn't do too much. You don't see him out there trying to handle it all the time. He'll do it if it's an open floor situation, gets it off the rebound. You'll see him put it on the deck, but he's very comfortable playing inside of that 10 to 12 foot range and being able to make plays and make people better for it.
Yeah, it was actually a standout football player too, and now is focusing primarily.
Right on cue, man. We talked about the open floor off the rebound, and that's exactly what you got right there. Oh, nice move there. Nice move there from Cockfield. Oh, good D there from Simmons. He's had a good weekend, man. Just being solid. You see Simpson. Nice finish there. But, yeah, I really like what Kendrick Simmons has brought to the table in terms of his ability to play. I'm excited to watch him, Barnett, Zesmond Steeple, who was at EBA Top 40, actually is in the middle of football season, wasn't able to break away. He actually is here. Just saw him show up here a little earlier to support his teammates. He'll be with us again at the spring at Top 40, I'm sure, man. They got a nice thing brewing up there at Banks County.
Yeah, definitely. He does a good job. You know, former coach at Hart County, where they were a premier power up there in North Georgia, and he looks to do the same at Banks County.
They got it going, man, and having a chance to see the school facility, the new high school that they built, and then also the recreation center that they've got over there. Watch those young men play pickup about 3 weeks ago out there at the rec. Nice two-court facility, very similar to Bogan Park in terms of the layout. So plenty of opportunities for those guys to get up shots, get work, and the coach is always willing to help and assist, and you can tell.
You know, I'm always a big proponent when the high school coach, you know, a lot of high school coaches have issues when players go play in events or play AAU, but, you know, you got to respect that he's out here supporting the coach of Banks County. He's out here supporting. We got Brandon Mayweather supports. You know, getting out and support your players. Joe Dix is always here supporting Davenport. So,
oh, look at Wiggins from downtown. Oh, my gosh, he just shot that from Africa. The basket, Preston Wiggins.
North Forsyth High School. And you talk about a place that the way it's built, when they got fans in that gym, it gets rocking because the gym is down.
Nice, Garrett. Good shot.
Is down, and the fans are just all over you. So you look for him to be that guy at North Forsyth this year.
Well, his length early. I mean, we talked about, you know, Elijah Jenkins, and anytime you see young players in the 17 or 18 class right now with the type of length that these guys have, definitely worth keeping an eye on. We're going to make sure we put them both on the radar for us. Oh, that's what I'm talking about with G right there. G Gilt, man, the football star coming out here doing his thing on the hardwood. Nice little right on left there to put it in. That Dwayne Wade Euro step that he's made so popular that's been a staple of European basketball for years.
You know what I like, and you might not see on the broadcast, Ty Cockfield just gave dap to Brady O'Connell. You know, he's out here playing, and that's one of the best players in the event with an 8th grade or something he'll definitely take away with his game.
Well, and it gives you that real perspective. You know, hey, this is where I want to go, and I'm watching this kid do it. This is what I got to do. Oh, nice pass there from Elijah Jenkins there. O'Connell, the nice save. Oh, great blocked on the backside there by Gilkson. Oh, good pass. Somebody echoed me in the background. You got to respect Ty Cockfield's game, man. Just the energy, the intensity he plays with. Been a long weekend for that guy. Still smiling, still bird chirping, still talking. Reminds me a lot of our A1 ace right here next to me, man, young Silvano. Looks like they're going to hold it for one shot here. Kressel with the isolation on Simmons.
Nice
great
play.
pass.
Nice
Great
play.
pass from the young kid B right there to find Jenkins. 2, the long-range shot. No good. And they don't call me the comeback king for nothing. Let me go get my work in here. I'll be back, man. Y'all boys hold it down.
It's 48-35 at the half. The gray team is up by 13 as Brandon Clay looks to go step over to the white home team and see if he can make another comeback. We're here live for the second half of EBA All-American Camp Game 4, our 8th broadcast game on Peach State TV, powered by SUVtv in the last 24 hours. I am joined by Jonathan Hemingway as I've been all day here in the second half. Coach Hemming, go ahead and, as always, let me know some points you want to bring to us here on the broadcast from a coaching perspective here from the first half.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be back with you. And that first half, I was over there on the sidelines working with our white team. Our 2-3 zone didn't really work out, as you see number 2. Colton Kressel gets that shot off. He really hurt us with the deep range long ball, but it was also the transition game with DeMarcus Simmons that really hurt us as well. Our transition defense wasn't all that good, so I think that's why you see us down 13 points here heading into this second half. But, you know, from an evaluation standpoint, we were talking about the progression of kids, the development of certain players. You know, we look at number 25, Jenkins, as one of those guys, you know, that really has put together layers to his game. A very good shooter. We saw some of that potential back in the spring, but now he's really beginning to put many of those tools back together.
While we got a second, in the dead ball, we were talking about Ignazi, in length and the Elite 100 that was dropped on our PeachStateBasketball.com. Talk to me about that. You travel the country throughout the year covering both boys and girls basketball. So, you have a large grasp nationally, both with Brandon as well as Sean Williams. Tell me about the Elite 100 you recently dropped or staff dropped on PeachStateBasketball.com.
Chris, it was a lot of fun, quite honestly. About a year ago was about the time, and a nice finish there made by Kendrick Simmons, 2016 prospect out of Banks County. About a year ago, we made the decision that we were going to cover the game of boys basketball from a national perspective, Brandon Clay and I. And of course, we had a relationship with Sean Williams, over time. And Sean had approached me, about writing for his website, writing some articles, developing some content, on a weekly basis. And, spoke to Brandon about, trying to cover it from an evaluation standpoint, and a nice drive there by Simmons to finish. So we really got out and, covered the Nike EYBL circuit as well as, the high school circuit. I made, 3 trips, during the high school season and saw many of, the higher profile, high school teams out there. And, in a matter of 12 months or maybe even, a little less than that, we were able to see probably, 90% of, the mid-major to high major, verbal commitments that you'll see, in the media today. So we put that list together, and like I said, it was just a lot of fun to get that different perspective, after, covering the game of girls basketball for so long.
That's definitely good. I'd like to say that top to bottom, the number of the games that are covered by our staff, both on the men's and the women's side, it's probably unparalleled, at any level.
Yeah.
There's not a time where there's not at least 2 members to 3 members of our staff not somewhere covering a game.
Good finish underneath there by number 38 from Central Gwinnett.
That's Kevin Stamps, 2016.
Yeah, Kevin Stamps. He's a kid of potential, got a lot of tools. Can't say really what his specialty is at this particular moment, but it's coming along very well for him. And you're right, if you're a basketball player of any level, girls, boys, high major player, mid-major player, even a Division III player, somewhere along the line, we're going to get a chance to look at you as we take a look there at Kendrick Simmons knocking down that three-point jumper. You talk about Chris Hansen, out there on the West Coast, in Washington. Kyle Moore travels the country.
Just real quick, that was Desmond Simpson. In 2018, he's holding his own out here. So you saw him there able to get the deflection off of Colton Kressel. But back to what you were discussing.
Yeah, but just to finish that thought about, covering the game of basketball, not just boys basketball, but girls basketball and boys basketball together. The number of connections that we've been able to make, on both sides is really tremendous. A number of the kids that you see here in this camp are as a result of the relationships that we've built, from the women's side. You saw Bryce Moore, who was with us in Game 3. His sister Erica Moore was an EBA camper a number of times, Super 64 camp and so forth.
Nice bucket inside. Had DeMarcus Simons bring the ball up floor, and we discussed some upcoming weeks when the Elite 60 drops on PeachStateBasketball.com from Brandon Clay Scouting, in connection with On the Radar Hoops report. You look for DeMarcus Simons to possibly be in that or pushing that Elite 60 player in the country.
Yeah, there's just a very few number of kids that are out there. Jumper on the way by Simpson, doesn't get the fall on a rebound underneath. Eventually cleaned up there by Kendrick Simmons, having a big second half. Just very few people, prospects in the nation that have his size, his skill set, as you see him hit back-to-back three-pointers. And as you heard Brandon Clay say, there's nothing that we can do with that, because you actually want him to shoot the three-pointer because you don't want to get too far up on him. Why? Because he's so strong getting all the way to the rim.
free throw here, number 38, Kevin Stamps, will step into the line. And Brandon Mayweather, Central Gwinnett, here locally, you look for Central Gwinnett to possibly rise to the top of that region. It's a tough region there with Burkmar's actually won the last couple years.
Right.
But you look for Central Gwinnett to make their staple. Brookwood's also got a number of top young players, and Shiloh is always competitive within that region.
Well, I think there's a little bit more parity, I would say, on that half of the region for those of you
They're locally.
tuning in locally. We got 2 regions within Gwinnett County, each I think with 8 teams, maybe even 9 teams now. Oh my goodness.
Jenkins with the follow.
I would say that Region 7 might be a little bit more top-heavy with Peachtree Ridge and Norcross at the top, whereas I think over there in Region 8, good finish underneath there by Stamps. I think Central Gwinnett and, you mentioned Brookwood, Berkmar, Shiloh. I think there's a little bit more parity, and you've seen it even before where, 8 seeds have been able to upset 1 seeds, in the region tournament and such.
Yeah, Grayson had an outstanding there last year that was kind of a came out of nowhere type team. Won over 20 games, and Coach there does a really good job. We actually had a number of their players here in our EBA Top 40 in the spring.
Yeah, Marcus Lanier being one of those kids. Jumper on the way there by Garrett. Gilkinson, excuse me, from Parkersburg South out of West Virginia. He's had a solid weekend for sure. You got to imagine he's just a little bit tired coming off of this weekend as he finished a big quarterbacking job on Friday night before he arrived here at EBA All-American.
Nice look. Ooh. I really like what Desmond Simpson's done today, stepping out here as a freshman. Looks to make the extra pass, doesn't force it, shot it really well in a drill setting.
Yeah, Walker Valley High School there in the Chattanooga area. Hotbed of basketball there for sure, both on the girls and boys side.
Nice. That's Davenport coming. You see what he's going to be able to do to bring the next level as a help side defender. Energy all the time.
Oh, buddy.
I can tell you this, Kressel and Simons definitely look like they've enjoyed playing together this weekend.
Yeah, they definitely complement each other very well.
Zach Orr there with the rebound, 2016 prospect.
And let the alley-oops begin here, huh, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, you've got players, they're exhausted. I mean, yesterday were going 8 or 9 hours. They're getting extra skill working after. They were all here early. We started at 10, but they were all here at about 9:15, already getting skill work in even before our skill session.
Yeah, you get to this point in the day and their legs start to go, and the first thing that happens is the defensive transition more than anything else. Nice give and go action right there from Stamps underneath to number 14, Jordan Pulliam. Good action there. Pulliam, a 2015 prospect. I know Coach Chad Pittman's going to expect big things from him this year, as we talked about, from the lead guard position. Uh-oh. Brandon Clay's telling Pulliam, hey, just finish the basketball. You can see he's a little gun shy trying to finish, or not wanting to finish there on the break. I think the length of Davenport and some of these other kids have kind of gotten into his head a little bit. Nice move.
Gilkinson says, Brandon's saying here he is. He's like, nah, I got it.
Good little change of direction, change of pace to get downhill to the right hand. Mid-range jumper there. Kessel, I thought, was going to pull that, and Brandon was anticipating that already.
I don't know if that was goaltending, but I know that's athleticism by Simons.
That was incredible ups right there.
You know, that's the thing. You see what he does offensively, but when you're talking about evaluating him as a prospect to be able to be a game changer on the defensive end,
yeah.
You know, I'd made reference earlier, you know, I cover a lot of junior college basketball. TJ Dunning's out of Columbia State, who was arguably the best junior college player in the country, who just made a commitment to Bruce Pearl at Auburn University, and his ability to alter the game on both ends of the floor. And Simons is a player that's going to be able to do the same at the next level.
Yeah, interesting comparison, and I guess you'll be able to see those highlights and those evaluations at the JUCOReport.com.
Yes, you can see all that, and you can make your own comparison of TJ Dunning's on JUCOReport.com to compare to the Peach State TV evaluation we'll have up on DeMarcus Simons here in the upcoming weeks. Kind of the same in how they handle and the herky-jerkiness, the change of speed and direction, being able to get by the defender. Nice play there by Davenport.
Davenport finishes it up underneath. As we approach the 2-minute mark, Gilliam here trying to make the pass, and a good pass underneath the number 27, Jalen Hillary. Hillary's is another kid, just a 2017 kid, going to play at Central Gwinnett High School. I like his size, and I think he's got the potential to be a very versatile player. Nice pullback jumper there by Simons, yeah. But coming back to Hillary, I like his size, his athleticism. Good pull up there by Gilkison. I like to be able to see a little bit more out of Hillary on the interior because he does have that size. Definitely showing the skill from the perimeter. But he's going to be one of those kids to watch, you know, moving forward to see how much he develops and matures as a prospect.
We got 1 minute and 20 seconds here. Gray team is up 71-66 as the white team looks to make one more play, see if they can make a game out of this. You like that play by Davenport and his ability to get the ball around in a Euro setting. Actually, in the background, I see Christian Simmons over there doing that same move. It was something they were working on this morning.
Davenport he's come a long ways, just in polishing, you know, his skill set overall. Very good in transition, as you see. But now he's starting to make those plays in transition with the ball in his hands rather than, you know, just being an alley-oop type guy. You know, changing directions rather than just being a downhill guy. And oh my goodness.
I mean, me personally, I'm on the broadcast. I almost took off the headset and walked away on that. I mean,
that was with the left hand too. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when I was at a high school game and Lewis Williams caught an alley-oop at a game in the region tournament. It was just like this. Like, it was, you don't even yell. I mean, you're like in shock and in awe, and that's kind of how I am right now.
And I think that's going to shut it down here from EBA All-American Camp. Left-handed jam there by DeMarcus Simmons. Chris, a pleasure to join you here on the broadcast.
Yeah, as always, this is Chris Watkins, and that's Jonathan Hemingway. Be sure to visit PeachStateBasketball.com to watch all game broadcasts, as well as Peach State TV evaluations and news on guys basketball and grassroots throughout the country.